Hello and welcome back to Rage Gaming, and finally Season 4 of Diablo 4. With Loot Reborn, there's also that new seasonal quest, which is very straightforward and short. It culminates with a fight with a unique enemy, which is, it's just really hard. However, what actually will take some time is the Iron Wolves honor system. It's this classic reputation mechanic where you increase the bar by doing stuff and get rewards as you go. Although this time, the rewards are actually insane. We're talking about instant sacred and then even ancestral gear or multiple uniques of that quality guaranteed, as well as some other very valuable things. The problem is increasing the rep bar here though. Increasing that bar takes time. So what's the best way to do it? That's what this video is aiming to cover, so let's just get straight into it. This is a two-pronged video though. The first section is all about that Iron Wolf reputation specifically. How do you increase your rep fast? Well, you just do Helltide Reborn. Pretty much exactly what you do, and I could leave this section at that if I really wanted to. But of course, there's a couple things I can mention before explaining new Helltide effectively. First up, it's to do with those rewards and kind of a PSA about the quality of them. Something we were worried about is if we'd actually open these, like say this unique cache, should we not wait until World Tier 4 so that this becomes an ancestral? Is it not a massive waste to take a normal version of these? No. The reality of this is that it's going to be legendary. Let's hover over that. It says legendary reputation cache. So these boots here, they are only going to be legendary, and it doesn't matter when I open this, well, tier 1 or 4, level 10 or 100. So if we hover down at this one, it says sacred unique reputation cache. This is going to be sacred uniques and nothing else ever. So with this ancestral unique one, again, it's only going to be ancestral. Doesn't matter when you open these, they're always set, they don't progress, so you don't need to worry about opening them late and saving them. Just open them. There's literally no downside, and that's how it works. Next, if you want to push this rep as a priority, I should probably reference the season blessing mechanic. There is the urn of iron here. So let's just take some points out of what I was putting it in just to show you the full rack. Urn of iron will increase it by 5, 10, 15, and then 20% total, boosting your reputation gain whenever we're doing Iron Wolf activities in the Helltide. If this is a priority to you, then yes, you should get this maxed out to increase the actual XP you're going to get. The thing is, I would view this more as a long-term goal. I have not been focusing this. I've just been leveling. I'm currently level 76. It's the start of like the second day, and we're already on the final tier anyway. I actually don't think this is a massive priority to really focus. I think it's going to naturally happen, and the rewards are going to be good when you get them either way. But I don't think you need to focus it. If you are really pushing specifically the rep, then while you're in the Helltide, what you'd be doing is looking for the hellborne special enemies, any named boss, the roaming ones or the new ones, the ritual, and farming that out, and helping any Iron Wolf you were to find randomly, defend them, whatever, as well as just killing mobs while you do that. All of these things is going to get you the rep, but focusing it instead of being efficient with the Helltide, I just don't think it's worth it. So how do you efficiently max out Helltide Reborn? So the two new main mechanics of Helltide are simple. You have the threat meter and you have the ritual. Firstly, the threat meter will fill when you do most anything, like completing an event, kill enemies, kill named bosses, whatever. In each quarter, you'll have enemies spawning in on you. Maybe the worm gates appear, they'll even block your path, and it spews out some elites. Eventually, you get full on hell marked at the full bar, where multiple waves will spawn on your location as the bar now empties, until eventually a champion of the Helltide spawns, a hellborne, trying to kill you. It's a stronger elite with some affixes like electric pylons or fear circles on the ground, the usual. The problem with that hellborne is that it's way stronger than elites here. It's simply not worth your time at the start of World Tier 3 and 4 if you're at that point. When we hit World Tier 4, we were killing our first hellborne for, I would say, like 10 minutes or something extreme, and that was absolutely not worth it. It only rewards a couple normal item drops and a bigger chunk of wolf honor. I get 35 for killing one in World Tier 4, which is nice, but absolutely not worth the time if it takes you any meaningful amount of time. Once you're able to kill them reasonably quick, you're fine. Just kill them. But otherwise, do not waste your time on them. Let them spawn, walk away, it doesn't matter. To maximize the threat meter though, you want to weave that into whatever you're currently doing. Maybe you're mid-event killing a ton of mobs. Now, because the threat meter filled up, there's elites and packs spawning in from that at the same time. That's fantastic and really efficient. Maybe the hellborne is a quick kill. Maybe you're nicely into World Tier 3 or 4 and set up properly, fair enough. But essentially, you want to use the threat meter to stack up with something else you're doing at the same time, a whisper, an event, a big pack of mobs. But don't wait around for each threat to spawn as it happens. Either it's happening while you're doing something else at the same time, or you're being slower than you could be. Now on the other hand, we have the new ritual event, a familiar mechanical thing where there's just a place in each Helltide zone with a new symbol. That's the ritual spot, and here you place 3 hearts to spawn in a huge wave of enemies and eventually a new named boss enemy at the end. This is extremely worth doing because the amount of enemies and rep gain from that is immense, and you get a big chunk at the end when you kill the boss. But again, that's only worth it if you and the other people there are strong enough. If it takes even a little too long to kill, say, the final boss enemy, you are wasting your time when you could be being more efficient. The hearts drop from a ton of activities in the Helltide though, when you kill name mobs, elites, complete any relevant event. I have like 40 of them right now and I've never really had to use them myself. The events are happening in the zones so often that people are spawning in for me anyway. While it's active, you get a notification in the middle of your screen saying, hey, it's active, but also when you open your map, it does ping to say it's happening over there. The final boss of the ritual is worth a noticeable amount of honor though. Without any earn increases, I received 115 for the kill and another 35 for completing the event, or vice versa. So if you can crush them like we're doing here, then it is worth your time. And after all, you can repeatedly spawn it and keep farming it. In this example, the roaming named boss Kixarth also walked in and died passively at the same time. That was great. Another 50 rep total. Pretty nice because that's the same amount of rep you get for opening a cheaper chest. Also, do be aware that the people who use the hearts to summon the ritual do get slightly better rewards. That's a nice detail. And the mechanics of the boss fight are simple but dangerous if you're weak if you just entered a new world tier. Watch yourself and other players. The boss targets people with fire circles that explode after a delay, which could be placed on you by a random, and that happens a lot. So just keep circling and moving around and being aware of what you're standing on. The boss also splits up at different quarters of our health. The boss splits into 4 hellborne disciples, which function as weaker bloodseekers, if you remember those. Just smash them, and then she reforms for more DPS. Ultimately, if you're strong enough, or there's a lot of people, do the rituals whenever they're going, batch them together with other content you're doing when you can, and if there's a massive group spam spawning them, then just enjoy that. Lastly, the usual Helltide advice. Kill stuff, get cinders, open chests. The chests reward a chunk of honor, much like when you've killed a tougher named mob. You probably want to be focusing steel chests most of all though right now. We all need to be summoning lots of Gagore for our uniques and other high level drops, and summoning materials for Duriel. This costs 275 cinders though, which does reward Matt summoning items and 150 honor at the same time, but that's the same as 3 cheaper chests, which by comparison will cost you 225 cinders. Therefore, if you really want to maximize your honor gains, you'll only open the cheaper chests, but like I've been saying, we have other priorities right now. More important tasks like gearing and leveling. So I don't think it's worth it to do that until you need the rep specifically. My advice, keep opening steel chests because you need those more. Other new details do exist in Helltide Reborn though, like the new non-marked events, soul spires of different kinds. It could be the ravenous one, like this example. Your health is drained the more you stand in it, but more and more enemies will spawn. You survive that as long as you can, and you get good honor and spam kills for cinders. There could be the dodge the AoEs in the ground, or other basic tasks. These are worth doing if you batch them together again with other things. Maybe another big pack. Maybe your threat is spawning enemies on you right now at the same time. That's great. Otherwise, it is just the usual stuff in Helltide. Walk between events while grabbing any nodes, killing big packs, being threat spawned, and so on. If you don't know where the events should be, check a Helltide tracker website. It'll show you where they spawn, and you can just move between those to farm out your cinders. Big mob groups and elite packs are worth it, so I generally walk between the events rather than ignoring enemies and dashing on my horse. Just try to aim for the whisper task specifically if you can. If I hover over a Helltide area, you can see that we've got 2 zones in this one, which means there's 2 whispers here and 2 whispers here. These are new whispers tied to the Helltide Reborn. Disrupt the cultist rituals here, destroy demonic structures, slay fallen. Awesome. Basically, I need to be in this zone to be killing fallen, because if I'm killing fallen over here, nothing happens. Why I mention this is because some of them are like, kill 3 hellborne, the things that spawn at the end of your threat meter. If you kill the hellborne in the wrong zone, like when you're threat filled and you're in the wrong place, it won't count towards the whisper. So just be aware that you might need to move to the other zone right as your threat meter is about to fill if you're doing something like that.
Oh, hello. A little quick bit from me. Actually, is it from me, or am I still Hollow doing an incredible impression of Josh? In any case, it should, of course, be mentioned that we have these, the Profane mindcage. You can use one to, well, does what it says on the tin, increase the Helltide monster level by 10, and the threat and cinder drop rate go up, and I do mean massively. Like, with this thing on, which I've been messing around with, it took like 7 minutes to go from 0 cinders to the 275 for a living steel chest. As we can see, I am 77 and the monsters are 89, much higher than normal, and we get ourselves a lot of threat and a lot of cinders very, very quickly. They are definitely worth using, they just make the entire Helltide and everything else we've talked about here much more efficient, and if you can comfortably handle the extra monsters, then you really do want to be doing it. It doesn't fundamentally change how you approach the Helltide, it just essentially puts everything on 2 times speed, and it is very, very good for that. As you can see, the threat is building so quickly just from the little amount I've done while talking to you here. So definitely something to keep in mind. Push it as much as you can from as soon as you can, and you will be rewarded very quickly.
But yes, all of it will lead to more and more honor, and like I've said throughout this video, it just kind of happens. I'm not convinced we'll need to go crazy to push this to max level, since we're in the Helltide for so many reasons already. If you're being efficient, you should be getting tons of honor anyway. Still, I hope this information, based on maxing it out myself, has been helpful to you. If you guys have any extra information to help others though, be sure to drop it in the comments. But until next time, I've been Hollow, you've been you. Thanks for watching.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.